Earlier, there were four pillars of management, namely planning, organizing, directing, and control, are popularly known as PODC of management. But with passage of time and complexity of organizations, we now have POSDCORB. POSDCORB is an acronym widely used in the field of management and public administration theaters that reflect the classic view of organizational theory. It appears most prominently in 1937, a paper by Luther Gulick. However, he first presented the concept POSDCORB as envisioned in an effort to develop public service professionals. In Gulick's own word, the elements are as follows: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting, and budgeting. Planning involves selecting missions and objectives and actions to achieve them. It requires decision making, that is, choosing from among alternatives for future course of actions. Plan thus provides a rational approach to be presented objectives. Planning also strongly employs managerial innovations. Planning is the most basic of all organizational or managerial functions. It is the process by which managers establish goals and define the method by which these goals are to be attained. Planning involves selecting missions, objectives, and the actions to achieve them. It requires decision making while choosing from among various alternatives for future course of actions. Planning also inquires about the organization's strengths, weaknesses. It involves decision making about desired ways and means to achieve the objectives. There are, however, differences between decision making and planning. Decisions can be made without planning, but planning cannot be done without making decisions. The nature of planning can be understood by examining its four major aspects: its contribution to the objectives, its primacy among the manager's tasks, its pervasiveness, and efficiency of resulting the plans. Planning and controlling are inextricably bound up. Control without a plan is meaningless because a plan provides the basis or a standard of control. Planning is all pervasive that we all have discussed earlier. Planning is unique and universal function of all the managers. The efficiency of plans is reiterates or emphasizes upon that plans should not only be effective but also efficient. The effectiveness of plan relates to the extent in which it accomplishes the objectives. The efficiency of plan, however, means its contribution to the purpose and the objectives offset the cost and others required to formulate and operate it. Plans are efficient if they achieve their objective at a reasonable cost, when such a cost is the measure not only in terms of time, money, or production, but also in terms of satisfaction of the individual or group. The resource scarcity is very important consideration for any organization today. There would be no need for planning if managing material, finance, and human resources were available unlimitedly and were cheap infinitely. Planners in both private businesses and public agencies are challenged to stretch their limited resource through intelligent planning. Otherwise, wasteful inefficiencies would give rise to higher prices, severe shortages, and greater public dissatisfaction. With inefficient planning, the environmental uncertainty would always be there in the horizon. The second most important conceptual reason is that organizations continually face environmental uncertainty in the course of accomplishing these tasks. The organizations meet this challenge largely through planning safeguard. Some organizations do this job better than others, partly because of their differing patterns of responsiveness to environmental factors beyond the organization's immediate control. Types of plans. First or basic type of plan is the hierarchical plans. These plans are drawn at three major hierarchical levels, namely the institutional, the managerial, and the technical. The strategic plans is the first one. These are basically the administrative or intermediate plan. The operational plans can also be categorized according to the frequency repeatedness of the use. They are further divided as standing plans or SOPs. Standing plans are drawn to cover issues that managers face repeatedly. Such a standing plan may also be called standing operating